This conference will now be recorded.
Who's Charlie?
All right, so let's get this meeting started. As the way we should all do all meetings is with affirmative prayer. So let's just come to consciousness to know something for ourselves, each other, this community, our nation, and the world. That here tonight is evidence of this wonderful power of not just technology, and that in itself is amazing, but of also of the heart of this community. That this is a group of people that have come together and have a joint mission. And that mission is to spread the good news of spirit throughout the land, to affirm it for themselves, to bond together, to band together, and to move out with the good news of what spirit can provide for us, through us, and with us. So here tonight, we're going to share our ideas. We're going to get some really good information, and we are going to put into mind the greater possibilities for ourselves, for this community, our nation, and the world, because it's what we've been called to do, and it's what we're doing, and Spirit is showing and guiding us every step of the way. We're grateful for this right knowing, and we release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect work, returning to us multiplied abundantly. Together we say, and so it is. All right, so I thought if, are y'all all hearing me? Just wave if you can hear me. Okay, good. So I thought I would go over a little bit of where we are and what's going on, and I'll get to our financial situation as well, because I know that a lot of people that is foremost of interest. I think where we are is in really an amazing place, and we've got so many people to be very grateful for. Just starting with this technology here tonight, that we're able to bring 26, at least 26, probably close to 30 people together, and that we're able to use this technology to have community when it's not a time for us to do that, to have community. So within just a period of 3 weeks, we have really completely reconfigured this organization. If you think about it, 3 weeks ago, we were meeting in a building, getting most of our income in a building. And as I go through that building now, there's kind of a sadness for me with the idea that there are probably only 4 people going in that building in a week, whereas normally there would be hundreds of people in and out of that building. So that was how we were conducting our business. And now we have completely and totally shifted in a new direction. And I'm very grateful to a lot of people, my colleagues specifically, but there are many other people that have worked very, very hard and I think have done an amazing job. When this thing hit us, the board said we want to make sure that our congregation, our membership knows that we're going to be on the move, that we're just not going to sit back, that we're going to reinvent ourselves, we're going to use what we have available to us, and we're going to recreate ourselves. And I think we've done that in a significant way. From everything from Angie Bell's wonderful classes to the morning coffee clutch that Carolyn is doing. We have a lot of meetings that are going online. Debbie Carver is doing the membership meeting, and they're moving out. We have the board that is meeting. And of course, we've got the Sunday service. We've gone from having a live Sunday service to now we're having a taped Sunday service. This past one that we did is pretty close to how I hope we're able to continue doing it. Where it's not just a service where you click on a camera and you see me giving a talk, because I think that's not a lot of high energy, but it's really an inclusive service where there are different elements involved in it. And so we're able to do that this past week, and hopefully we're going to continue doing it. By the way, we're able to do that because we are using an editor in Brazil. This woman in Brazil does it for us, and she only charges us $40. So it's pretty amazing the technology that we're utilizing. And once again, I really want to give a lot of thanks to Mike for helping us out with that. And not just Mike, but we also have Jim, who's working with the cameras, and David, who's doing so much work with Facebook and that sort of thing. So as I said, we really have reinvented ourselves. One of our goals has been, we want to stay in touch with you on as many different levels as possible. I hope we're not bombarding you with, different ways that we're reaching out, but we really wanted to leverage every modality that we could to stay in touch with you. So the e-blessing, the live streaming the service, also really putting a lot of stuff on Facebook, my daily affirmations, Angie's class, the coffee clutch, and other things. So we're really trying to, in as many different ways, to stay in touch with you as possible. And one of the things that we've done that I'm very proud of is that the membership committee called everyone. And I think they're probably going to be doing that again in a couple of weeks, because just that simple call has meant a lot to a lot of people. So I think we're on the right path. I think we're going to get through this challenge, and I think we're going to be stronger for it. It certainly has allowed us to not stay bound up. We've had to be flexible. We've had to be innovative. We've had to be willing to take on the challenge, and I think we have done that really very, very well. Now, to talk with you a little bit about the money. We've made had a big success in talking to our landlord and getting him to lower the rent from $4,500 down to $2,500 a month. He's going to do that for the next 2 months. And of course, we didn't bring on our music director because we weren't having a choir, so that has saved us costs. We've also stopped our cleaning service because no one's going in the building. So we've stepped up and saved as much money as we can going forward. And we're also making more direct appeals for people to bring in. And I'm very, very happy to say people really have stepped up. We have gotten some nice one-time contributions. Some people went ahead and made their yearly contribution up front. We're very, very grateful for. And we've also had some other fairly large donations that have come in. And of course, we're grateful for that as well. If you take all of those one-time donations and you set them aside and just tally up what's coming in, just kind of like the bread and butter donations, we're pretty close to hitting where we need to be as far as making our weekly bills. We need about $4,500 in per week, and we're right at that mark at this place for this week. So we're pretty consistent doing that, and so I think that's a really good thing. And of course, we're open and receptive to any other ideas about how we can stay engaged. We did make a one-time, or not a one-time, but we did give a contribution out to the Betty Griffin House because they were had contacted us because they were in desperate need because the money, a lot of the money they get is drying up, but the challenges are very great right now. I just can imagine what it's like being a family in this crisis, and particularly if you've got challenges with finances or other kind of challenges. So we gave them $1,500 from the Elizabeth Clare Fund. We also are talking with our I hate Catherine, our new music director. We're talking to her and not bringing her on at a full salary, but bringing her on enough so that she can kind of restart a virtual choir, because we want to make sure that the choir keeps going on. And so that's she's wanting to do that, and so we hope in the next week or two she'll get that going. So that's pretty much everything that I have. I just want you to know I'm very grateful to all of you. I'm grateful how all of you have stepped up. These are very challenging times, and I don't think there's, it's overwhelming, but our community has really stepped up and is doing, I think, an amazing job. And I think we're going to continue. And when we get through this challenge and go back to our regular meetings, we're going to be better for it. And a lot of what we're doing now, we're going to continue doing. I really enjoy doing the daily affirmations. And so that's maybe something that I continue doing. And if there are things that you really particularly like, that you find very helpful, let us know, because I want to know what it is that you're finding helpful to you getting through this challenge. So if anybody has questions, I'll be happy to answer. Just raise your hand, that'll be good. Brenda?
Yeah. I'm curious, how did you find someone in Brazil to do the video and whatnot? That's interesting.
Well, we live in a different world, Brenda. And it's a company called, they are an Israeli company. And they basically list people all over the world that can do different things for you. Mostly it is social media type things. And so I had used them once before. And so I put in what we needed, and she popped up. It's very inexpensive. It's much, much cheaper than if we were to use someone here. And she's really responsible for that the service last Sunday, which I thought she did an excellent job with that. And also, I didn't mention him. I don't think he's on, but also grateful for Randy. Boy, Randy has been wonderful. Getting to the taping of the service and helping and being very flexible with that, because it's not as simple as it looked. It's quite a challenge. And so he and Jim and David and Mike have been very, very helpful getting that up each week.
Can I have a question? It's Diana.
Yes.
I was thrilled to see your role in the interfaith service. I'm just so excited about that. And yes. I'm curious, so with so many people, what kind of platform is that going to be? How will we be able to participate?
Well, first of all, let me say that idea came from our own Debbie Carver. And she had that idea, and I asked Rabbi Nadia if she would do it, and so she's taken the lead on it. I think what it will be, Diana, I don't think everybody participating or calling in is going to participate. I think the spiritual leaders, the community leaders, will do a prayer. So I'm not sure, but I think that's the way it's going to work. There are so many of them stepping up that I've told them that I'll stay in the background. If they need me, I'll do a prayer. But we've got a lot of people stepping up, and so I want to give as many people opportunity to do a prayer as possible. So you may not hear me, and you probably might even, that might be even a nice thing. So y'all hear me enough.
I have a question for Tangela. I think she's on. So Tangela, if you, I could unmute you. I'm just curious, Tangela.
I'm here, but I'm actually working, so.
Do you have time? Do you have time to answer a question?
Yes, I can quickly.
So I'm wondering how the youth program is responding to doing things virtually. I know you've met with the youth group at least 2 weeks in a row, and I'm just wondering how they're all doing and how they're responding to this all.
Well, we've met 3 weeks now, and they seem to like it. You know, they're accustomed to this technology, so it's not that strange. And some come on camera, and some are just on their phones, and some are on their computers, but they don't have the cameras up. So we have a wide range of participation. But they really seem to be enjoying it. I'm getting some nice feedback at least from the parents.
That's great.
How many kids are you getting, Tangela?
Last Sunday, we had 7, which included Max and Victor.
Lovely. Yes, I feel embarrassed that I didn't mention the great work that Tangela is doing by organizing the call-in, and it's a really great thing. That's a way that we kept our youth program going, and she started that up almost immediately. So that's been a very powerful thing for us. Thank you, Tangela.
Ken, if it's all right, Carolyn would like to just say a few words about the coffee break, how that's going.
Yeah, what a joy it is for me every day. And I thought it was going to be, hard, like every day, 6 days a week, but I get so much from doing it. But I did want to let everyone know we've had about 49 different people show up, and an average between 6 and 12 a day. And it's been wonderful. We've met people from outside of our community that heard about it through Meetup. A couple of gentlemen joined us from Jacksonville. We had a gentleman join us from St. Augustine this week. Just curious what it was all about. They seemed to enjoy it. A couple of them came back more than once. So that was great. But I'm really, really pleased with the numbers. And I'd also like to take this time, Ken, to tell you how wonderful those daily affirmations are. That is, and I know I commented to you, but there's that time when I listen to it that I really shut everything else down and I have that moment of such peace. So thank you for doing those. I know it may not be easy to do it every single day, but it's well worth it for all of us out here, or at least for me. I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I know I speak for a few people because they've mentioned it to me.
Well, thank you, Brenda. Yes, I'm glad to do it. It's a fun thing for me to do. Yes, Debbie? I think you're muted, Debbie.
Turn your mic on, Deb. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
I want to thank you, Reverend Ken, for the daily affirmations also. I can't thank you enough for that because maybe like some other people, I have mostly good days and every now and then I don't. And on one of the days when I wasn't having such a good day, I just was waiting for your affirmation because I really felt like I just needed something. And I get a little bit emotional because I know it's maybe for you, you're doing them day after day, and I know you always put your heart into it. But on that day, it made such a difference in my day. It actually just put peace in my heart again, and a calm and a positive outlook that I was missing. And so I don't think I can overstate how powerful that can be, that we have that to go to each day. And I just want to thank you for putting the effort in to do that. It's very special.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. I'm glad they're helping.
Yes, and other people are starting to read them. I share them. You have somebody now who wants to find out how from South Carolina can they go to Sunday service with you. So, I mean, that's very fun. And my friend from California is like, wow, I loved Reverend Ken's message this week. Wait till they see the next one's coming up, So it's really, in addition to serving all of us, it's reaching out really further than we would have without it. And to see Randy doing the sign language, it's like, how inclusive is that? So yes. Maybe even my suggestion would be some sort of message when you're saying, watch our service on Sunday, to let people who are hearing impaired know that this is something they can participate in as well. That's really wonderful. Yeah, so I've joined several things and they're all wonderful. It's so great to get connected with different people at different times. So yes. Good job, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Ken, I wanted to say that I really appreciate the fact we can watch them any time of the day because they're on email. Because I might have an aide in here or a therapist, and
right.
I can when the therapist leaves, pardon me, I can look at it. So it's a wonderful addition to be on email. Thank you.
Ken, it's Diana again. If I wanted to try the peace meditation online,
okay.
And I'm just curious, what platform, like Carolyn, what platform do you use for the coffee chats? Is it this GoToMeeting?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we have a license with CSL that it gives us a lot more capability than if you went and did the free trial or did an individual license. So Diana, if you wanted to do this, I'd be more than happy to help set you up and then let you go. I'm not trying to get in your way, but I'd be more than happy to set you up and then also help promote it through the e-blessing and Facebook and things like that.
Nice.
Okay, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Wonderful. These are really very important because people are so isolated and people are very scared. It's a very scary time. And so as much as we can do to reach out, as much as we can continue to do the work of our community, this is providing a wonderful benefit to our community and the world. So I'm grateful, Diana. Thank you for doing that. And you too, Carolyn, and you too, Debbie.
Pleasure. You're welcome.
Diana, I'm really glad to hear that you want to do the peace meditation, because I don't go to them because I live up in World Golf Village and I think, oh, drive a half an hour, have the meditation, drive a half hour back, it just, well, whatever. Anyway, having it virtually would be really good. So even if you want to do it past when we're all back to whatever normal is, I think that would be great.
Anyone else?
Yeah, this is Kathy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So there are many of us who, for whatever reason, possibly an illness, or that are homebound, and I'm one of those. So I have found this so helpful and so connected, and I just can't be the only one who has this issue. So this is so wonderful. And what I would like to see is at least some form of continuation just to reach multiple needs in our community. So thank you all so much, because oddly, I feel during this time more connected than I did before, because I'm getting to see you guys. Yeah, so I'm going to mute myself again.
That's okay. Well, I think your point is well taken, and I just have a sense that when we do go back to our new normal, because we're not going to go back to our old life, the world has changed, and that's okay. That's what the world does, and we will have changed with it. And my hope is that that we're going to find ways to stay in contact, because I do hear what Brenda is saying, that there are a lot of people who don't particularly want to go out. And so if there's another approach that we can bring them in and provide them peace and comfort, then we should. And it's really, Mike has done such an amazing job of getting us acclimated to all of this. And Diana, you'll find it's not that hard, at least after he sets it up. The setting up may be very difficult, but after he does that, it seems to be pretty easy, just actually pushing a button. So even I can do that.
Rick, did you have a question? I think
Muted.
I also thank Ken for all the positive affirmations he had. We listen to his meditation every morning, and I had to think of what gratitude I have. When our kids are grown, I think of the people that have kids and that don't have any money, and boy, it's got to be such a challenge. And we want to help all those people that are in those situations.
Right.
I'm just so grateful. And just say a positive note. We will survive.
Yes, we will. One of the things I don't know if Linda Lewis is still on the line or not, but one of the things that we want to check in with in the next week or so is to find out how the ecumenical food pantry is doing and what we can do to help them, because this has got to be a very tough time for families who aren't financially, don't have the financial means with kids. I mean, it's just stressful enough to be with my partner in our house. I can't imagine, having a 7-year-old running around, and I can't imagine the stress of worrying about rent and food. So we are going to reach out to the food pantry to see what we can help them out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ken, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear Linda Lewis.
Yes, I'm just trying to get a hold of Guy Reed, get a telephone number. Once
I'll
I
get
get
his number to you.
Okay, good. And I'll connect with him. And I think that would be very good because that is also being supported by all the churches in St. Augustine. Yes. And I have to give Karen a little credit for that. Karen Janoshka, she was interested in us trying to do something to help the community. And then Ken reminded us that we've been helping this group for a number of years. And I'm sure they're missing our help. So we're going to work on it.
Good, 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 good. Anyone else?
Raise your hand, Brenda.
I don't know if this is what you were thinking, but there's a group in St. Johns County called INK, I-N-K, and Diana, you probably know about this. Anyway, they have this thing called Blessings in a Backpack, where they give kids a backpack full of food for the weekend to get them through it. And they're looking for monetary donations right now for the kids who aren't attending school. I do believe they're available meals are available at schools for them to go pick up. But if anyone's interested in donating to them, that's another avenue to help these kids that are, don't know where their next meal is coming from, really.
Sure. Send me that information, Brenda, and I'll get it out on our Facebook and stuff like that.
Okay.
Diana, do you know about if kids are getting meals in school?
Yeah. All the kids in St. Johns County can get a breakfast or a lunch every single day. Like our school is serving it every day. And then in addition to that, most the Title I schools have the weekend backpack food programs. Mm-hmm. Ours is supported by other groups besides INK. But in our group at our school, they're preparing bags every Tuesday for anyone that shows up to get a lunch. So the need is really, really great. Yeah.
So how would we help them, Diana?
I think INK is a good way to go. I mean, because they support several different schools. So, I mean, they would be thrilled to get any donations, I'm sure.
Good.
I can give you the name of Cheryl Freeman, who's the director of the RSVP of St. Johns County, and she also can link us into INK.
Okay.
I'll send that to you.
All right. Thank you, Tangela. I do think it's good. I use it in my talk this week that we do start envisioning a larger role that we should play as a community. We've got a wonderful message that's unique, and this needs to get out, and we need to do our work. I mentioned that we had sent the money to Betty Griffin, and when I was doing research on them, what came up for me was that the majority of young people who are in violent households will then go on and create violent families for themselves. And we should be able to, I would love for us to maybe to set up some sort of mentoring program, because it's one thing to help out the families who are already in violence. But if we could prevent violent families from being created, or if we could mentor young men and young women that they don't have to have violence in their homes, that families can be loving and they can be kind and they can be compassionate and they can be comforting. If you don't come from that kind of family, then you just assume it's a myth. You think it's a TV show because you assume that what you've lived from is reality. So if we can, and even for one child, give them a new idea of reality. That yes, that love is powerful, compassion is can you can live your life through love and compassion. We can do a wonderful, great work, and it's what's calling for me right now. And I envision our community stepping up and doing even more. We were already doing a lot of great stuff, but I can see us doing even more when we start our work again.
I'm glad you said something about mentoring, Ken. At our school, that's a program that I coordinate.
Right.
And I believe most of the Title I schools, again, have mentoring programs, and most of them do it through RSVP, what Tangela was talking about. But I coordinate it at ours. If anyone ever wants to get information on it, our mentors meet with the kids during lunchtime. So it's really relaxed. It's not counseling. It's not teaching. It's just building that one-on-one relationship and giving them that attention. There are so many kids in our school that come from abusive homes that I know the investigators by first name, because they're at our school so much, So, yeah.
Yes, Fran?
On another topic altogether, I want to thank Anne for hosting the chair yoga. I have to say that I've signed on to some of the other Silver Slippers items and things, and this was the easiest for me to do at home. And I followed it all the way through, and it was perfect. I've seen other people do it, and I think you did a masterful job, and I thank you very much, because I'm so used to going outside, and now my neighborhood is so shut down, and walking out here, and they've asked us not to. So staying in and finding options are wonderful. I've been to some of the other classes online also, and by far that was the one that I found the most refreshing and I should say appropriate for me because of my physical limitations. And so thank you, Anne. Thank you.
Yes.
Do it again. Are you going to do it more than once, or can you do that? No, she can't talk. Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Fran. That was very sweet. I've done two more. Another one is like a standing total fitness one, and then another one is a gentle yoga, and I do them through COA. COA's helped me, and we finished 3 of them now. And Mike, I might need to talk with you. You would be able to get them through COA on YouTube, but Mike, maybe we can somehow put them up on eBlessing if you'd like. And they all run about around 30 minutes. So.
And I'd be more than happy to work with you on that.
Okay, so I think the lady I'm working with at COA, her name is Carolyn, and she's going to have all 3 of them ready to go, I think Saturday or the beginning part of next week. So I'll give you a call, Mike, and we'll take it from there. Is that good?
Sounds great.
Okay. Thank you, Fran. That was sweet.
All right, anyone else? Well, just once again, like I said, I'm very grateful for you all. I'm very grateful for the hard work that's going in. More stronger, more powerful, and more dynamic, and we're going to be the community Spirit has called us to be. If nothing is else, we can do a closing treatment. I see you, Jim, there. Would you like to do a closing treatment for us? You got to unmute.
I'm learning this little by little. So let's close our eyes and know with me that there is one divine intelligence which guides each and every one of us into the right and perfect life. And that this right and perfect life is healthy, it's abundant, and it's really beautiful in every way. And that this guiding wisdom is within us, and it's easy to follow. It's not difficult. It's not hard. It's just easy to follow. And we follow it with an intention to share our wisdom, share our love and compassion, share our delight in life, and that we will look back at this time and know that even now, this divine intelligence is filled with love and compassion and guidance, and that we will find even a beauty within this period of time. And I give thanks for each and every person here at this center. I give thanks for the divine intelligence that's guiding each and every one of us. I give thanks for Ken and all his messages. And I give thanks for life itself. And I can release this treatment knowing that it's true and beautiful and loving simply by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. I love you all. I hope to see you soon. Blessings.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Love
Thank you,
and
Jim.
prayers.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
I did not do that.
Bye.